A high school senior shot to death while doing the stunt, his friends say, for a TikTok video. Now the homeowner, Tyler Chase Butler, arrested and accused of second-degree murder.
I'm telling you, I'm just throwing this out here so we know the hypocrisy when it comes. If there was a white man that shot black kids doing ding dong ditch, we would, God is my witness, we would hear it being a racial thing. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the Tatum Show, brought to you by Shinergy, the natural supplement company. Natural energy drink is powered by, I'm drinking my Shinergy right now. I'm almost to the bottom. So make sure you get some Shinergy today. It's all natural. You ain't got to worry about crash. We developed it with a formulator. This is not private label stuff, white label. This is borrowing a product of somebody else's creativity. This is our own formulator, Steve, who formulated this from the ground up. So we created energy so you don't have to crash. And then we also created complete energy, which you have in a night drink as well. So we want you to get good quality sleep, be able to wake up with energy, have energy throughout the day. Nobody's doing this but Shinergy. All right. So go to shinergylife.com, and get you some supplements today. This ding dong ditch thing, this is very unfortunate. And I believe that this will not get the coverage or outrage that some people think it should, because I believe that the person who was the suspect was a black man and the kid who got killed was a white kid. And that's why you ain't going to see Al Sharpton. Nobody else going to come out and say anything. I think that the guy who did this was wrong. You can't blindly shoot at people. I don't know what people are thinking. Let me give you some advice. If you're going to have a gun, study the law of your state. Study self-defense laws. If somebody's kicking on your gate outside of your house, you can't just start opening fire on people. You can't do that. You have to have a reason to believe that these persons are armed and dangerous, or that your life is in danger of serious bodily injury or death. You know why? Because somebody may be knocking on your door thinking it's somebody else's door. You can't shoot people through a door. Somebody may be kicking on your fence because they're doing a TikTok joke, or maybe they're trying to break into your fence, but that's not your house. And they may not even have a gun. So you got to be very mindful of how you're shooting and knowing the target that you're shooting at. If you shoot somebody, you have to be able to know who you shot and where you shot them at. If you don't, then when I say who you shot, which means that if it's a crowd of 5 people and you firing, you better know that, okay, I hit the third person and I shot him in the leg, or I shot him in the torso, I shot him in the head. If you shooting at somebody, you can't describe where you shot them at, or at least a general area where you aimed at. And if you're shooting in a crowd of people and you don't know who you shot or didn't shoot, you are in a weird position, especially when they don't have any weapons and they're running away from you. So I'm just putting that out there, man. And I'm the biggest advocate of defending yourself. In our state, we have stand your ground. I get it. But if somebody's beating on my door, I'm not going to shoot them through the door. Once they breach the door, it's going to be a light show, fireworks. I think I might be a little turned on by it a little bit. You break in my house, it's gonna be murder, she wrote. If you can breach the door of my house. But until then, you beating on the door. As long as you're not shooting through my door or anything, I'm gonna call the police. And if you never make it through the door, which my door is secure, then we have nothing. The cops will come take care of you. You breach the door, now you gotta go meet Jesus faster than you want to. All right, let's play this clip real quick from the news. Roll it.
Tonight, an arrest for murder in Virginia after teens tell authorities an age-old childhood prank, the ding-dong ditch, turned deadly. A high school senior shot to death while doing the stunt, his friends say, for a TikTok video. Now the homeowner, Tyler Chase Butler, arrested and accused of second-degree murder. The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office saying in a press release it was 3 a.m. Saturday morning when they got a call for a burglary in progress where shots were fired. Deputies found two people with gunshot wounds on the scene.
Let me add to this. In the defense of the suspect, this was 3 a.m. You dumb, ignorant fools, that you little kids trying to be TikTok famous, don't be knocking on somebody at 3 a.m. First of all, we did ding dong ditch when I was a kid. I didn't do it much because I hate getting in trouble. But we did it a few times. But what do? Do it during the day. You walk in somebody's porch, you knock and you run. It's during the day. Or if you do it at night, it's at a reasonable hour because you got to be home before the freaking street light come on. So we couldn't ding ditch or whatever they call it. Ding dong ditch. We couldn't do that because daddy be ding dong ditching your butt if you out at night and you're not in the house. So I don't know what kids they raising that's at 3 o'clock in the morning beating on somebody's house. All right, keep going.
18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr. was transported to a local hospital where he died just hours before his high school prom. His stepfather telling me he was a student athlete who played lacrosse, football, and wrestled, now gone. Another teen grazed with a bullet, telling investigators, according to court records, they weren't trying to break into the home to steal anything. They were just ringing doorbells and running away. And a third teen, not shot, telling authorities the same story and showing police a similar video from earlier that night. The question is whether a resident can claim self-defense in such a case.
In Virginia, if you are going to use lethal force, you have to be in fear from the perspective of a reasonable person of bodily harm, great bodily harm, or death.
The sheriff's office saying the Butler is held on no bond at a local jail. We haven't been able to reach him or an attorney. The investigation is still ongoing and may uncover if it really was a ding-dong ditch that led to shots ringing through this neighborhood and a young life lost.
Poor child, the poor kid that got killed, and of course what happened to him. I mean, such a stupid prank, and look at the results. Family's ruined. So, very sad. Hope this does not happen, and I hope the kids learn a lesson.
Now, in court documents, Tyler Butler reports being single, having gone to college to study computer science, and now making his living through sports betting. I met with a neighbor here who showed me video from in front of his home not long before the shooting down the street. And the video, he wouldn't share it with us yet, but it shows 3 teenagers approaching his house and not ringing the doorbell and running, but banging and kicking his garage door. He says they weren't trying to break into his house, but this was not, just simply ringing and running.
Kids that got shot with white, the guy's black. Now, do I think it's a racial issue? No, I don't have any evidence to suggest that's a racial issue other than there's 2 different races. I'm telling you, I'm just throwing this out here so we know the hypocrisy when it comes. If there was a white man that shot black kids doing ding dong ditch, we would, God is my witness, we would hear it being a racial thing. You gotta not have a double standard. Like, if you're gonna jump to racism every time a white person does something, you gotta do it when black people do it. It could have been a racial component, but we don't have any evidence of it, so we don't need to jump to that conclusion. But what I will say is that how much did he know, and where was he shooting from? If they coming and beating on your door and kicking your door, I can see a person believing that he's getting robbed, but you can't just blindly shoot people, right? Why? Because there may be a prank, or they may be knocking on the wrong house door. They're not trying to break in and kill you. People could just be at the wrong house. Maybe they think it's their baby, some girl baby daddy coming over, knocking on the door, late at night because he pissed off about something. They don't have, but they don't give you the right to shoot a person who you don't know who you're shooting. I mean, because if you're blindly shooting through a door or something, you could be shooting neighbors. Like the bullets, they don't just stop once they leave the gun. If they don't hit anybody, they still going. And they hit people in the head, hit people in their sleep. That's why they charged them with second-degree murder. Because what is second-degree murder? Knowingly and intentionally doing something that caused the death of another person. So knowing that your actions, maybe I should look that law up. What state is this? Let me see. Virginia. Because he got charged with a few things. He got charged with second-degree murder, malicious wounding, and 2 counts of firearm use during a felony. So for them to hit him with them crimes, it must be pretty evident that he had no legitimate reason to shoot at them. So the question is, if he went to school for computer science and he seemed like an intelligent guy living in maybe a primarily white neighborhood, I guess, why would he believe in doing that? Now, here's my theory, just real quick. Here's my theory. The guy is sports betting, so he may think that he may be involved in some stuff that will lead him to believe somebody gonna come collect on him. Because think about this for a minute. I'm kind of like a celebrity a little bit, right? I'm not like an A-list celebrity, obviously, but I'm kind of a celebrity. It means that everywhere I go, no matter where I go in the United States of America, somebody recognizes me. So I'm sort of a celebrity. I know that people hate me. So if somebody were beating on my door, it's a reasonable fear that maybe a hater, which I don't know how you get to my door in the first place, but if you made it there, that's where you're gonna die. But we might as well put some roses out there for you and notify the next of kin. But if you make it to my house and you're doing that, I have a reason to believe that maybe somebody, because I'm popular, that somebody want to come get me. If you're a regular person that's just living your life, maybe in an affluent neighborhood, why is that your expectation somebody's going to kill you because you hear beating on the door? Unless, in my opinion, you believe that you got haters or somebody after you. So I think the young man got into sports betting. It can be very weird, right? Maybe he owed people money and he's like, oh shoot, they coming to kill me. And I gotta go all out. I gotta shoot through the doors and everything else because this is what's happening. That could be a case that I think the reason why this guy overreacted. Because it doesn't seem like he's a bad guy. He don't have no criminal record, not a gang member. Seems to be very well educated. You're talking about kids going to a school that does lacrosse. That's probably an affluent neighborhood or a reasonable neighborhood, middle class to middle upper class. Why would somebody be so triggered or in fear for their lives that a couple kids banging on your door will cause you to go out and shoot blindly? Now, I don't know if he shot blindly though, which is where when we get more information, we'll be able to determine, because he could have just been pissed that these kids did it and made it in his mind he gonna go and shoot and kill them. That could have also been what happened here, right? They could have beat on the door, bloom, 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 and he know what it is, and he gets up and he like, oh, F this. He go out there, open the door, and see him running and going, boom, 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 boom. Bro, that is murder. It doesn't indicate he shot through the door. So I don't know what scenario he's in, but scenario one, they beating on the door, you get scared, you shoot through the door, you hit a couple. That's murder, okay? You can't shoot a target you can't see. Boom, 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 boom. They beating on the door. You open the door. You instantly you confront it with them. You start shooting. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe that could give you a little more of an advantage. But if you see you open the door and they running and you shooting at them while they running, you're going to jail. You're going to jail.